Welcome to Condesa, the trendy artistic neighborhood for the young designers of Mexico City. Meet Maria. On a typical day, Maria bikes from Roma to her office in Condesa. A fairly new company, the small group of furniture designers have been pretty successful. Lately, Maria and her team cannot keep up with the demand of orders. The design team is full of ideas, but sending out the drawings to be prototyped and manufactured has been too time-consuming. Maria has some furniture pieces on display at a nearby boutique, but the young customers of Condesa are looking for a quicker manufacturing and delivery timeline. Maria usually has her lunch break at a cafe a few blocks away from the office, but usually gets cut short when a problem comes up. At the end of the day, Maria heads home to dinner and to feed her cat. Sometimes she will Uber to a bar and meet up with some friends for drinks and dancing. Now let's reimagine the daily life of a person like Maria. A new design can blur the lines between manufacturing and selling, living and working, leisure and business. If the line of travel is more open and direct, then collaboration and exchange of goods can thrive. How can we create a new experience for the worker, shopper, and resident in a community that feeds off the diversity and efficiency of users and goods? Now Maria not only saves time in her daily commute, but also increases the efficiency and development of her business. Maria and her team can now share an office space with other designers, walk to a nearby building to see the latest prototypes, and observe manufacturing all on one site. What would usually take Maria about 2 hours in travel time can now be done in minutes. Now a city within a city, this site creates an opportunity to make a new walkable community within the great neighborhood of Condesa. Through a set of unique programmatic pairings, the new blurred line community creates a collaborative environment where people can now live, work, make, and play all in one place.
In comparison with America's marketplace, Mexico City has a heavy presence of vendors on the street. The setting of these vendors is informal, allowing each individual market to sell from their stall anywhere along the streets or public spaces. Often these vendors are selling the same variety of products, wallpapered amongst their stalls. They gather in concentrations, allowing for competition amongst the vendors. However, their ability to move freely lacks regulation. Without taking away public access at the street or eliminating flexibility, Fusion Market celebrates the multitude of street vendors and the cultural experience of the interaction between locals and tourists throughout La Condesa in a flexible yet monumental way. By scaling up the already existing street vendors present throughout Mexico City, a framework is provided for a more legible presence in the local economy and links these informal markets to the city's infrastructure. The availability of quality public space provides for an urban arena with a high degree of social interaction. Throughout La Condesa, wholesalers are often the providers of a bulk of the goods sold by vendors. Stores around the site function around the typical routine of the locals. Fusion Market provides 24 hours of access and cycles of goods. Building heights of the already existing infrastructure help influence the heights to which Fusion Market reaches. Tamaulipas lies on access with the Parque España, an already highly populated area. These two public spaces now operate together as venues for social interaction. Residents to the north and west and visitors to the neighborhood that typically gather around the Eastern Hippodromo unite on this site. Each median of the site is dedicated to specific product types and the demand for these goods: food, art, day-to-day products, and clothing. To avoid delivery congestion and to maintain the street for pedestrians, Fusion Market connects to technology for drone deliveries. Though a large portion of the sharing economy is connected to various forms of technology, this new system allows anyone to become a vendor, to sell or buy goods. Fusion Market creates a new atmosphere where individuals who used to independently operate can collectively sell their goods while increasing access and creating an urban arena of social interaction.
All right, you guys ready? Okay.
Condessa today is known for being a very fashionable neighborhood, home to many young professionals. About 70,000 people live in Condessa, while 170,000 people visit the neighborhood each day. When visiting Condessa, there were a number of observations that prompted the design of my project. The concept of sharing is something that has already been well adapted by the residents of Mexico City. From this observation, I saw a window of using sharing and collaboration as a means of efficiency. Family ties are strong in Mexico and have been for centuries. The average Mexican household has about 4.6 people. Many families are moving out of Condessa because of the lack of educational program. There are almost no schools or libraries in the neighborhood. While walking around Condessa, you notice the colorful character of the neighborhood with unique buildings lining each avenue. There's an abundance of parks, restaurants, and retail programs that provide for the neighborhood. Due to the large population of people commuting into the city, Mexico City has a huge traffic and parking problem. According to the IBM Commuter Pain Index, Mexico City ranks the highest with a score of 108, compared to Los Angeles with a score of 34. Based on my neighborhood research, I placed my site on the busy Avenida Mazatlan and sandwiched it between two residential streets, Vincent Suarez and Fernando Montes de Oca. My goal is to use the concept of sharing and the addition of educational program to bring families back into the city in order to reduce traffic and make family living more efficient.
There are many types of people in the city. This project, however, has been inspired by only two of them. The first ones are locals, but they belong to the nomadic culture that started during the pre-Hispanic era, so I will call them nomads. The first nomads that existed in Mexico City are the food vendors. All the transactions that were made at Tlatelolco were done with food. Later on, during the colony, the plazas of the cities would have food vendors, but it wasn't until the late 19th century that the stands as we know today started. Now, the street vendors in Mexico not only fill the city with food, but also sounds, colors, smells. Basically, almost everything you need to see, hear, taste, and buy from the traditional Mexican culture. Not being able to afford living in the city, most of these nomads commute from 2 to 4 hours every day to create the city's temporary furniture and landscape. The second type of people this project starts from is formed by an annual average of 14.2 million people in Mexico City. Tourists. They go to touristy places, houses, buildings, museums. They eat and drink, and they buy souvenirs before they go back home. At least that's how it was until the shared economy came into our lives. Now, we're used to living in that loft in the middle of the hottest neighborhood in town for 2 days, even though you have 4 kids, 3 cars, 2 cats, and a dog. Or your own private driver, even though it's only for the 12 minutes your ride lasts. Or just simply having that ninja food processor for 2 hours that you can't afford to have. The shared economy makes us temporary owners of things and places. This project uses the concept of the shared economy to make tourists temporarily permanent and nomads permanently temporary.
Connected to achieve a higher goal. Mexico City is known for its food culture, and food is all about sharing. Cuisine is split into categories: the local, the global, the high-end, and the street vendors. By raising our shared economy to a new level, we now have a second platform for various activities to be planned and for street vendors to flourish. To execute this plan, we analyzed the density of restaurants in each block of La Condesa, finding the highest density in the 3 to 5 story buildings, the roofs of which we will connect with local existing restaurants. My proposal then ties in the existing Parque Mexico and Parque España with the selected local restaurants to cultivate culinary education and transform independent street food into sky food.